Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, I told a Brexiter a joke. And my God, you have to sometimes wonder to yourself, what is wrong with these people? Why do they never get it? Simple joke. I asked a gym instructor to teach me how to do the splits. He said to me, "How flexible are you?" I said, "I can do every Tuesday." The Brexiter said to me, "How you gonna learn the splits if you could only go down to the gym once a week?" You are in the United Kingdom. Well, I should say I'm in the United Kingdom, where 95% of the politicians over here hate your guts. They can't stand you. They think that you're scum. And that's the truth, you know. That really is the truth. I've got some stories that will prove that a bit later on. Rishi Sunak. You know, when I always say, right, that some very smart people are really stupid. In fact, you know, a lot of these really smart people are really, really stupid. I mean, you know, some of them can't literally organize their own life. They've got to have assistants and all that to organize. You know, probably when they go to the bathroom in the morning, and you know, I mean, and if you're royalty, I mean, there's so much stuff what they've just never done for themselves. You know, they will just look and think, "Oh, that's a right chore." Right, just things that we all do naturally every day. And you know, a lot of these like really smart people, they are so thick. Some people who have made millions of pounds, right, you know, hundreds of millions, can just be so stupid. You wonder, yeah, how it is that they can actually make money, right, when they're so thick. Rishi Sunak, last week, Prime Minister's questions, you know, used a derogative term about, you know, basically about trans people. Remember Keir Starmer, when Keir Starmer, the question, you know, can a woman have a penis? I mean, you should. I mean, when someone says that to you, right, you should say to them, well, can a man have a baby? That's what you should always say to them. If they ask you that stupid question, can a woman have a penis? Just say, well, can a man have a baby? As I said to you, well, of course not. Say, what about trans men? Hmm? Do you feel stupid now? Right? So, yeah, so that, you know, it's just, I find that whole thing just really stupid because, you know, these are a very small minority among us. Very, very small. I mean, you know, it doesn't even register on the scheme of how much of them there are. It won't even register as a number. Yeah, if you put like a, you know, if you put the whole 7 or 8 billion people that are in the world, right? Their number, you know, trans people's number wouldn't even register on any scale. It's not going to register anywhere, right? Because there's just not enough of them, right? So for Rishi Sunak to use trans people in this way, right? And you know, a lot of people, they're like, oh well, you know, because Brianna Guy's mum was like, she was in the House of Parliament. I'm not sure whether she was in the chamber at the time, but she was in the House of Parliament. So for people to, you know, to use that as the thing to say, well, this is the reason why he shouldn't have done it, because her mum was there. No, no, you know, he shouldn't be doing it, full stop. He's not a comedian, right? He's supposed to be a serious politician. I know when you look at Prime Minister's questions, yeah, it looks like they're just in there as a bunch of clowns, right? But, it's supposed to be really, really serious business, really. I mean, it's supposed to be some of the most serious business in the country. Right, so for them to take it for a joke is just ridiculous anyway, right? But you know, so it's not that her mum was there. Why he shouldn't have made the joke anyway? He shouldn't have made the joke. He should leave that up to comedians. You know, I'm sure that Chris Rock and, you know, Dave Chappelle, or Johnny Vate, one of those people should be using those type of jokes. It's not for a prime minister or serious politicians to use, because all that happens is when you dig out minorities. Yeah, you know, if you start digging out, like, for example, if you start digging out doctors, saying derogatory things about doctors, if the government started doing that, right, you'd have people going to doctors' surgeries and going to hospitals, right, and cause real problems for doctors and nurses and all this, you know. So it's just kind of crazy that we've got politicians who are so thick, and using language like that against, like, you know, probably one of the smallest minorities there is in the world. Right, you know, using language against them like that, you know, just it's, you know, it's not gonna help them, and especially someone like Rishi Sunak, right? Because, you know, I look at a brown politician and say, well, you know something, yeah, you should really know better, because you should know, you're not going to tell me, yeah, that you don't know about what real racism is. You might pretend, oh, it's never affected me. You might pretend, right? But I guarantee you that even, so, you know, I guarantee you the reason why Rishi Sunak made 30p Lee the chairman is because Rishi Sunak's afraid of him, because he's scared of him. That's the reason why. Because I guarantee you that 30p Lee calls Rishi Sunak the P word, not to his face, behind his back, but Rishi Sunak would have heard about it, so he knows, right? And that's one of those things, like, you know, keep your enemies closer. That's what that's what Rishi Sunak was hoping to do. So that's the reason why 30p Lee, because he knows he's got Rishi Sunak bullied. That's the reason why a couple of weeks ago he was like, well, I want my chairman job back. After he resigned because a couple of Labour MPs was laughing at him. Those are the serious politicians we've got in this country. A couple of Labour politicians standing in the corner giggling. Well, they could have been laughing at something else. You know, one of them might have told someone, you know, a rather good joke. So long as it wasn't a Brexit, because if it was a Brexit, they both wouldn't have been laughing. But, you know, so we don't know what those Labour politicians was laughing about. But Lee Anderson decided, well, actually, because they're laughing, I'm going to vote. You know, I'm going to change my vote. So he changed his vote at the last minute. But that's after he had resigned, and now, you know, last week or the week before, he wants his job back. That's the level of politicians that we've got in this country. And, you know, just sticking with Rishi Sunak and sticking how stupid this man really is. This man, right, who went through, what did he go through? He went through education, paid education, and I'm sure it was at least £40,000 a year, because he went to one of the good private schools, right? And then went to university in America. He might have went to, I don't know if he went to Oxford or Cambridge as well, but I know he went to university in America. You know, so, you know, that man has had a fantastic education. His whole life has been one of privilege. And you see, this is the reason why he could probably take that bet with Piers Morgan, right, on £1,000 on, you know, the lives of some of the most deprived people in the world. People who are just trying to get to somewhere else, yeah, where they can make a life for themselves. And, you know, his bet is, I want to get them, put them on a plane to Rwanda, even though the Rwanda bill, right, is you know, the Rwanda bill is completely done, right? We've already had, actually, I've got a story later on, haven't I? Well, look, I'll do it now, because we've already had, the Rwanda bill is fundamentally flawed, and no amount of amendments will make it work. That's what MPs and lords are saying about the whole Rwanda bill. The same thing that Rishi Sunak thought, you know what, I'm going to have a bet with Piers Morgan. You know, what's to be expected with Piers Morgan? Piers Morgan is, well, he's supposed to be a journalist. I don't really think he's supposed to be a journalist, right? But so I'd expect it, you know, you can sort of expect it from him because he's an idiot. But our serious Prime Minister, right? Because, I mean, if you go back, you'd have to go back to Theresa May to find a Prime Minister who wouldn't have taken that bet. Because Theresa May would have just been like, what is wrong with you? Right? But Liz Truss and Boris Johnson would have taken it. And that just shows you the level of politician that this country has been reduced to. I mean, you know, we've near enough been reduced to near enough as bad as the Americans. Near enough. But, you know, for him to take £1,000 bet on some of the poorest people in the world, people who have, you know, tried their best to get to another country so they can make a life for themselves, and this man thinks it's okay. You know, this is like, you know, it's like just like slave trading, really. You know, it's just like, you know, these people's lives, they don't matter. They're just, you know, their life is just throwaway. It's like the toaster that you buy for $7.99. You know, your kettle that costs less than a tenner. Do you know what I mean? You know, when it stops working, you just, throw that away, put it in the bin. That's the life. That's the life. That's the life. What is in, you know, what this man has reduced these people's lives down to. right? I just think it's so callous that you could have a prime minister who would go onto, let's just say on the telly, because I've done, if it was on Piers Morgan's show, I think he's just been sacked too. Not the first time. This motherfucker's been sacked so many. I think he's been sacked more times than Tucker Carlson, right? It might even been sacked more times than Boris Johnson. Right, you see, with all these right wing, a lot of them just get fired from these jobs because people just get completely just like, you know what, we don't want to hear nothing more from you again. But yeah, so for him to, this bet was just that I just looked at it and thought, this is really horrible. It's a horrible thing for you to do, and how stupid have you got to be not to just say to John, to him anyway, right? Not to just say to him, listen, I'm a serious politician, mate. I'm not going to take a bet on vulnerable people's lives. Do you know what I mean? Piers Morgan, you'd expect something like that from him because, Piers Morgan, hopefully, Piers Morgan might get a knock on his door soon because he committed perjury. And a judge has already said this. And the other day, the Mirror Group has to pay a whole heap of money to Prince Harry, for all his expenses and for his legal cost, and obviously there's going to be some compensation in there as well. But because there would have been 150 different events of phone hacking that Prince Harry was what he was ready to take them to court for, and it's like, no, we're going to settle that out of court. So it's had that out of court settlement. But already, that means, I mean, if that happened, that means that Piers Morgan knew all about it, and he's already been in the court and lied about it. So therefore, his ass could be locked up pretty soon. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me. Special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up. Thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. And do remember that this video is sponsored by George Soros. And if anybody knows George Soros, could you please get in contact with him and say to him, listen, By Any Means Necessary is sponsored by you, and you haven't sent them any money yet. So if you could, please, that would be brilliant. Donald Trump owes Rudy Giuliani $2 million. $2 million. That's not even going to be nowhere near enough to for what Rudy owes anyway. And Rudy, he's obviously had to file for bankruptcy. You have to say, what has Rudy Giuliani got out of his relationship with Donald Trump? Right? Apart from losing all his properties, losing his law license, right? Every penny that he's got in the bank, in the bank. And while Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani is probably sleeping. He's probably sleeping at his son's house by now, because he's having to sell all his properties. He's not going to have a property. Rudy Giuliani will not die owning a property. Let's put it that way. Right. So and then with the amount of money he owes, whatever he's making, literally they're going to be just taking most of that. They're taking so much of his money. So I can't really know. You just have to wonder, what is it, that he has got out of his relationship with Trump? Because he really never needed to do any of this business. He should have just said, something, you should be able to see the toxicity, right, from a long way off. And especially if you was going to work for Trump, you know what he's like. You know that Trump doesn't pay his bills. He doesn't pay. Right? He wants, he's like, well, all these NATO countries have to pay. But when it comes to him, I'll go bankrupt first. He'll go bankrupt and bankrupt all of the little businesses, right, that have thrown money into the project with him, right? Because he'll just use all their money, go bankrupt, right? And then by the building's like 3/4 done, or just a really small amount of work needs doing on it, but they've had to go, the contracts has had to go bankrupt, and Trump will just come back in after it's gone bankrupt and just buy it back. So it's virtually finished. So all those people now, they'll get a couple of cents, pennies on the dollar, whereas Trump, he's used their money to build that building, gone bankrupt, right, then bought the building back with his own money or Deutsche Bank's money, bought the building back, right, with only quarter of the work left to be done. All those people are out of pocket. Trump's got the building. That's how he's worked his whole life, right? And so Rudy Giuliani would have known that, unless he's really stupid, and then there is always that. But he would have known that, and he would have known. Listen, if you're going to do business with Trump, you know what you need to do. You say, listen, it's £20,000 a day, right? And if you can give me a year in advance, that would be brilliant. If not, I ain't working for you. That's the only way. That's the only, because Rudy. It's not even like Rudy Giuliani needed Trump to really still be relevant, because obviously he was very relevant when he took down the mafia and all that type of thing, with the RICO. But it's not like he really, people still knew who he was, right? He had condos, and he owned houses in New York, so he owned a lot before he met up with Trump, and Trump has destroyed him. I mean, when you look into his bankruptcy, Rudy Giuliani, $700 a month, right, on dry cleaning, and the man looks like he slept in his clothing. $700 a month in dry cleaning, right? Which is more than some people, they're paying that in their for their mortgage or their rent, right? This is what this man's paying that in dry cleaning, right? £40,000 this man owes for golfing, for golf, playing golf, or the golf fees. $40,000, right? One more. Mobile phone, $30,000 this man owes the mobile phone company. You say, well, how the hell did you get a bill of $30,000? Yeah, see, that's how these people live. You see, when you're talking about the rich, because $700 a month on dry cleaning is a really lot of money. It's a lot, it's a lot of money we spend that on dry cleaning. And then, $40,000 in golf fees, that you haven't paid. How the hell has anyone allowed you to run that up in the first place? But because these guys, they're so wealthy, do you know what I mean? People are just like, yeah, don't worry about it. He's always got the money to pay. He's got the money to pay. Don't worry. And then they run into a real problem, and next thing they have to go bankrupt. And then you're getting 10 cents on the dollar of your $40,000 that he owes you, or your $30,000. Right? I want to know how much he pays for hair care every month. Right? Whether or not that's like, he could pay a lot of money out for hair care, and we all know how that went. I don't know if you've seen that, because Donald Trump's lawyers in the Supreme Court at the moment about, to see if they could, because where Colorado, isn't it? Where whatever state threw him off the ballot, right? They're trying to overturn that. And Donald Trump's lawyer is just brilliant. I mean, this guy, if I only heard from him, right, I'd be like, well, no, Donald Trump needs to be on the ballot. He needs to be on there, because this guy is really, really good. But he is I think he's an ex-prosecutor or something like that. You know what I mean? So, but he is really, really good. I don't even know how he's working for Donald Trump, but because Donald Trump has got a lot of lawyers who work for him, that stay out of the limelight. So that's he's one of them. I think he just completely stays just like, no, I don't want no press. Don't talk to me. He's not. He's not like. And I suppose he's. I'm looking at him as that good, because I have to judge everybody, like all of Donald Trump's lawyers now by Alina Habba, and that's not a good. That wasn't good for Donald Trump. I mean, she was absolutely shocking. She was well out of her depth. The poor woman, well out of her depth. And I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl, but you were glad to know that the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And along with Usher, I don't know if you saw Usher's halftime performance, right? But the man stuck 30 years of hits into 13 minutes. Just absolutely brilliant. His halftime, his halftime show was just absolutely. I don't get American football. I mean, I do watch the Super Bowl, but I don't understand what's going on. I'll be straight with you. I've got a clue what's going on. Do you know what I mean? I can, rugby, yeah. I mean, but it's just a lot of standing around, people talking on headsets, people writing stuff down and all that. If you're playing rugby or football, you ain't got no time for that shit, right? There's no time for that, right? Writing anything. There's no time for that, right? Through headsets. No, you're on the right. You're right on the line. There's no time for none of that. But this, like, you know, it's I don't understand it. That's all I'll say. Is that, it's just I mean, the kicks and the touchdowns, yes, very, can be very exciting, and then obviously they have the when they do their halftime. I mean that's always massive. They've always got a really big artist, and I mean I've seen, I think Gaga's done it, and apparently she's quite ill in it. I just see she was there last night as well though, and I think Britney Spears done it with Aerosmith. I think, isn't it? Wait, hold on, that was like. Wow, that was about 2002, 2003, I think. But yeah, and then obviously we had Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, who also won big, because obviously Travis Kelce, he plays for the Chiefs, right? And Taylor Swift has brought in, she's just brought a new set of people in. Taylor Swift, she's got a new set of people that she's brought in, because there's a lot of young girls there, between 8 and 15 who have dragged, who have made sure that their parents have got them tickets so that they could go and see Taylor Swift, because that's what they wanted to really do. But the right wing are losing their minds over Taylor Swift and Kelsey and Travis Kelce. Do you know what I mean? Because I see a tweet from Donald Trump saying, or Truth, whatever he calls him, right, saying that he was speaking about them, yeah, and if you heard the way he was sort of sucking up them, because he looks at Travis Kelce, yeah, and sees someone who would normally vote for him. That person with that look would normally vote for Donald Trump. Right? That's normally a Trump supporter, right? And he probably can't understand why this guy. Well, I don't even know what Trump. I don't even know what his politics are. But I'm just going from what the right wing, how the right wing are losing their minds over Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, as if to say, that Taylor Swift would be interested in voting for Donald Trump. I mean, if you know anything about her, not that I do, but you would know that she. I just done a small amount of research, yeah, about what her politics was, and I know that she does swing much more towards the because she's a social warrior. Basically, I mean, when you hear her speaking, that's what she is. She cares about social issues, right? So, but then Donald Trump has this problem, yeah, where he can't get any of the world's biggest stars, and so much of them in America. I mean, you've got, I mean, America's full of international stars, people who are, they have made it worldwide, and there's people in every country that knows who they are, right? So Donald Trump, those type of people who Donald Trump just can't. I mean, if put it this way, yeah, if Donald Trump was in the White House, right, the Kansas Chiefs would not go to the White House, because they're going to go to the White House after the Super Bowl. Winning the Super Bowl, you go to the White House, right? They would not go there if Donald Trump. They're going to go there if Biden's there. They're going to go, right? But they would not go if Donald Trump was in there. That's what happens for his whole presidency. I mean, the only artist Donald Trump can actually get, yeah, is Kid Rock and Vanilla Ice. Those are the only two that Donald Trump can actually, and I mean, he used to be able to get Kanye West, but I think Kanye West might have gone off him now. But so he used to be able to get Kanye, but other than that, there's no stars or anything, or any actors or any singers or or any sports people who will go and endorse Donald Trump. So for him to for him to think that he can get an endorsement from Taylor Swift, I mean, he must be barking up the wrong tree. Water company bosses have their bonuses have been threatened. I'm saying, what? Their bonuses? I mean, this is one of those stories where that the government, 95% of politicians hate your guts, because they sold off your interest in the water companies to private companies who have now have you swimming in raw sewage. That's shit, piss, right? And all nasty, everything nasty that you can think of, more nasty than those two things, is in the waters what people want to swim in. Nasty stuff, right? You'll be sick. And these people have still been getting bonuses. And just now they're saying, well, you know what? We're going to stop their bonuses. Really? They're going to stop their bonuses, yeah, if they pollute our waters. They're going to stop their bonuses. What now? Really? Yeah, okay. It's really stupid, isn't it? A Labour candidate has apologised for anti-Semitism over comments that he made, and these comments was that the Israeli government, right, had ignored warnings about this. What was it, 6th or 7th of October? It's October, yeah, 6th or 7th of October. They ignored warnings about it and said, well, he's anti-Semitic. That's what he is, right? Because it doesn't matter what you do, right? If you say, well, Israel are committing a genocide, you're anti-Semitic. That's the only reason why you're saying that, because you hate Jews. That's the reason why, because you hate Jews, mate. That's why you're saying that, because you hate Jews. I'm saying no. I'm watching what's going on, and I'm saying that they're committing genocide, they're committing war crimes, they're committing crimes against humanity. That's what they're doing right now, today. I mean, even now they're bombing Rafah, in it right now. They're bombing Rafah. Do you know what I mean? So this Labour, he's going to have to stand, and if he wins, then what they're going to do is they'll probably take the whip away from him straight away. As he wins, they'll probably say no, because already Keir Starmer has to bow down to the Israelis, and can't come out and say, oh, you're committing genocide after you've been committing an apartheid for the last 8 decades. Remember the guy who splashed the acid in the woman's face, yeah? As remember what I said to you, right? That he's probably killed himself, right? And I mean, what we now, we're about 12, 13 days on, right? Now, 13 days ago, the police knew that information because they saw him go onto one of the bridges and they didn't see him come off of that bridge. So they would have known, well, he's probably flung himself in the Thames, because it won't take you long to die in the Thames, right? But you forget the drowning, the pollution in the Thames will kill you. Right? And if you was to fall into the Thames and survive, right, you're going to be ill for the rest of your life, because that shit's polluted as fuck. So you're going to be, especially if any of that water goes into your gullet. Oh my God, you'll be in real problems. But that's what I said. As I said, right, and I don't know why I have these foresights in these type of things, but once I took one look at this guy's face, I said, you know something, yeah, there's no way you're going to want to live like that in prison. You're not going to want to live like that. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to want to, you're not, the only way that you could possibly want to live like that, right, is if you wake up because you've been in a coma, and then even then you probably wake up and think, oh my God. Once they give you a mirror to look at yourself, you think, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Why have you even allowed me to live in this, looking like this? So I just knew that's what he done. But the police knew as well. Michael Gove, I believe he's the housing minister now, is saying stuff about housing that the Tories should have been saying 14 years ago when they took power. They should have been saying this. They've just only now discovered that the housing market is in complete crisis. It's in a complete mess. Right? You've got so many people, especially men, living in vans, living in cars. So many of them, right? And that can only lead to depression. And you know already that men are the most likely to commit suicide. So that stuff can only lead to depression. It can only take a certain amount. A lot of these people are working in jobs. They're working full-time jobs, and they can't make ends meet. They can't afford to pay for a property to live in, because it's just far too much money. So it's a very, very sad situation. But the Tories now have decided, oh, this is a real issue. A few months before they have an election, oh, this is a real issue now. Just ridiculous, really, isn't it? Border checks. Brexit border checks and badly planned farming subsidies could plunge the UK into a food crisis. Don't you wonder what's gone on with Brexit? How comes they told us one thing and Project Fair was saying something completely different. And the difference is what Project Fair was saying is the things that's all coming true. Right? Everything that Project Fair said is, because when Jacob Rees-Mogg said, we'll have cheaper food straight away. Just people who was in the know was saying, no, that's not true. Food's going to be much more expensive. That's not true. Because you see, unfortunately, it costs in this country, it costs more to produce food in this country than anywhere else. So that's the reason why, imports are cheaper than food that's produced in this country. I mean, that's really amazing, isn't it? You'd think that food that has come most of it depends on where it's come from. But some of it's come. I mean, but it's tropical. It come from thousands of miles. It's gonna be tropical. But so a lot of our domestic, whether it's tomatoes, even though they're grown in this country, you can grow tomatoes anywhere. But carrots and potatoes, all those type of things that's imported, and all your meats and fishes and all that. A lot of this imported from Europe, is cheaper to fly into this country, go through customs, do all the paperwork, and it still comes off cheaper. Cheap imports. And I'll tell you another thing. The UK farmers vow to mount more blockades over cheap post-Brexit imports. Did you say more? That's what I heard you saying. I heard you say, what do you mean more? Because they had one on I think Saturday. They had a blockade. But you didn't know, did you? No, because I didn't know. Until I read it on Twitter, and I was like, whoa. I'm not calling it X. I read it on Twitter, and I thought, whoa, what's this? What is this? And it turns out that British farmers, right, got themselves together, right, and it was blockading around Dover. I was like, well, who cares? Because I guarantee when the police just come along and say, move along, they got their tails out of there as quickly as possible. Right? We know all about the French, right? When the French do it, because we see it on the telly. Right? But when the British farmers do it, everyone's just like, the media's just like, I forget it. No one cares about them. They've got dirty fingernails. They're working class. No one cares about them. So they're out protesting about something what these idiots voted for. They voted, right, to destroy their own industry. That's what they know. Their very own industry. They voted, along with the fishermen, the farmers, right? They voted to destroy their own industry. And now they're expecting the British people to come out and say, oh, we want to help you out. You know what I say? I said to them, there's a good old-fashioned British gesture, right, that I can say to you, to the farmers. It serves you right, you bunch of racist idiots. You voted because you're racist, xenophobic, bigoted twats. And it's come back to bite you in your working class, dirty fingernailed ass. And it serves you right. So you go out there and protest, right? Because your protest is not going to get you anywhere. It might just get you nicked. And in long term, it might get you thrown into prison, which would really make me laugh. Anyway, my friends, I have to bow out of here because I have gone way over, but I haven't done a video for nearly a week now, I don't think, anyway. So, but I will be back tomorrow because there's so many stories out there. So many stories. My friends, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.